Welcome back to Workshop Wednesdays. We are so glad that you are back here with us again. Today, we are going to talk about something that every person needs to know. I don't care if you own a business or not, but you need to know what we're talking about today to be successful in life, in business, or whatever it is you want to be successful in. Because if you don't have this, you're going to be on the struggle bus. And hello. This girl has a fast pass on the struggle bus, but no more, because I have made these changes and we're going to talk about them in just a second. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Jill. How excited are you to be here today?
Hello. So excited. Love this topic. I'm all about efficiency. So
yes, she is. Once you just gave the topic up, thanks a lot, Jill. I had not said it yet, but again, it is in the comments. So we're talking 3 keys to building efficiency in your business. And this is so important. You know, we have the extreme opportunity to talk with, to encourage, to coach hundreds of home staging business owners around the world, to talk with people even outside of our industry, to do business with people outside of our industry. And the same thing is amongst all of them. Inefficiency is what is holding them back from reaching their goals, no matter what they are. So for you mamas out there, tell me this. Have you ever been ready to go somewhere, go into the other room, you have to hurry up and leave, but you step on Legos on the floor? For me, it was Legos because my son loved Legos. You tripped over a toy on the ground. It's the same thing in your staging warehouse. If your logistics team is tripping over Legos, aka accessories, furniture, art, bedding, whatever that might be, that was not put away, that didn't have a plan in place and a place for the items, then you're going to slow down your productivity, which means you're not very efficient. So we're going to talk through a couple of ways that you can improve your efficiency in your business today. But first of all, I want everyone to put in the comments that is watching us right now, what is the one thing that is holding you up from being efficient? What is the one challenge that it just is holding you back and you need an answer to how do I get over this? And if you're watching later, no problem. We'll answer that question for you as soon as we see it come up in the chat. So Jennifer, what is the most common thing that you see happen with inefficiency in a staging company?
I think probably one of the biggest things that creates inefficiencies is not having good processes and procedures. When it's a who's on first, who's on second, who's on third situation, if everybody owns everything, nobody's actually managing anything. So being able to have each department know what they're responsible for and executing on those responsibilities. So we talked recently in some of our strategy meetings, the difference between the definitions for processes and the definition for procedures, right? We oftentimes converge those 2 words, but the process or the procedure is the way something is supposed to be done. The process is the actual workflow of that thing, right? So I think everybody just knowing their processes and procedures, and that's not even one of our 3 key tips to increasing efficiency. There's a bonus for you, because that's just definitely one of the main things we see in a staging business that can trip up the efficiency, and you literally begin to bleed money out the door that you don't, your staff doesn't see that. They have to know that time is money, that processes are money, that these things that they're doing on a daily basis, even if they don't see the dollars and cents coming in and going out, those things are all impacting the profitability of the company, which impacts them as an employee. So they need to know that that's why you're always, as a business owner, stressing efficiency, you're stressing processes and procedures, you're stressing all of these different things, because these things all impact the profitability of the company, and that impacts them directly as an employee. So they need to know that.
Yeah, there is nothing more frustrating to an employee who really is truly trying to give their best than a disorganized owner or manager or leader, because employees look to their supervisor or their manager because we've been trained like that our whole lives. Like who is your go-to? Who is the person that's in charge? Who do we ask for help? Who do we ask for training? Like, who is that person in your company? That person needs to have processes written. We know Jana always says, if it's not written,
It's not real.
that's right. So we have that literally memorized. And so it's so important, even just starting off like, okay, it's a new day. I'm going to make it a very productive week. I mean, we're halfway through the week, but this can be your goal for tomorrow of the start of day or next week, right? I'm going to be as efficient as possible, right? I'm going to write the things down that need to get done. I'm going to categorize them in priority ones, priority twos. Obviously, we have the things that just pop up that have to be addressed. But I'm going to really sit and think, what is the most efficient way to load this truck? What is the most efficient way to pull for this stage? What is the most efficient way to get revenue in for the day? Is it calling people in the morning, like we love money in the morning, or is it calling people in the afternoon? So all of those things matter, that you're as organized as possible so that your team can be as productive as possible. So Jen, what's number one on our keys to be efficient list?
So number one on our keys for efficiency is definitely going to be timekeeping and goal setting. These kind of go hand in hand, right? So like you said, you're setting out your goals. What's my priority one? What's my priority two? And then you're figuring out how much time should each one of these tasks actually take me. If you had to estimate and say, this particular task should take me an hour to 2 hours, then you can kind of put a time limit on yourself. And this is not about perfection or like beating yourself up if you don't meet a goal and something takes longer because something comes up or whatever. But I think if we don't have some standards for, and this would go for whether it's in the field setting up the services or you're in the office, like how long should a phone call really take? How long should it take you to construct an email or to build a piece of marketing or whatever? Everybody being able to have those realistic expectations for timekeeping purposes. This is going to be helpful for you as a business owner to kind of know what expectations you're putting on your employees, but it also helps your employees. Like Laurie was saying, employees don't thrive well in an environment where they don't know what's being expected of them. So whenever you have these parameters and you say, a vacant stage should really probably be done in 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of the property. Well, that lets your employees know what the expectation is. And so they say, okay, I need to have this done in 2 to 3 hours. My goal for today is to make 30 calls. And can I realistically accomplish that in an 8-hour workday, with other things filtered into it? So each position should have goal setting within their job description. It should have for HSRA, we're constantly stressing the importance of having beginning and end of day reports where your employees are able to list out the tasks that they want to accomplish. And then on our end of day report, we're really supposed to be kind of allotting how much time did this actually take us. If we list out, these are the tasks that I accomplished, this one took me 2 hours, this one took me 3 hours, whatever. And it just kind of helps you to know, am I kind of hitting those targets and metrics? But setting those goals and then having those realistic expectations for time is a very, very big thing for efficiency.
Yeah, that's so good. So true. A couple things you touched on for those who are watching this. Are your employees doing beginning of the day and end of the day reports? I think you just kind of glided over that because we do it here. We have multiple trackers for our staff in regards to efficiency. We have beginning of day, end of day, what I call the round robin. I don't know where I got that from, but we basically have a round table, I guess, of what our big things are that we accomplished in the day as a team and individually. And on top of that, we do have a pretty large staff of virtual staff as well as in-person staff. So we are on Zoom and we have a screen monitoring system. And so talking about full-fledged efficiency here, we can literally track at any point in time, what our employees are doing, what might be the stop down. And it doesn't even mean that they're doing something wrong. It could just mean that they weren't trained correctly. And so that's really important when you're thinking about, timekeeping. Are you meeting your goals? If you have a goal that's in place that you, at the end of the day, because you're kind of winding down, you're calling everyone. Well, most likely if it's after noon, you're not going to get a realtor. They're done for the day. They're done taking the phone calls for the day. And so you need to maybe adjust your salesperson's what he or she is doing throughout the day and have that person call in the morning. And so just looking at that and tracking that to make sure that the processes and procedures things change in the world. And so you might have to adjust or pivot there. My next thing, which I love so much, good delegation leads to industry domination. I just made that up. Is that so awesome? So delegation is our next tip. And if anyone can delegate like a true queen, it is Jill. She is the delegating queen. I give her tasks like, hey, we need to do this and we need to do that. And she has such a way with our staff that she just goes in and she makes sure everything gets done. So I'm putting you on the spot, Jill, I know, but you're an amazing delegator. I come to you for all of the things that we need, and you make sure that they get done. So what are some tools or what are some ways that you delegate like no one else?
Well, I will say I've not always been that way. It's a new, I guess, skill set that I have grown into, but I am normally one that likes to just take it and do it myself because I don't want anything to get messed up. But I would say probably within the past year, or year and a half, 2 years, whatever, that whole delegation side of me has popped up because you get to a point where there's just so much that you have on your plate and you realize that nothing's going to get done if you don't actually delegate and hand it off to somebody else. So my biggest tip is just to, if you feel overwhelmed with what you're currently doing, it's time to delegate. So, and that doesn't mean, be bossy and do all this. It's just saying, hey, I need some help here because we can't do it on our own. We've talked about this over and over again, that doing things on your own, you're just not going to get anywhere. You're going to get worn out. So that's how I have done it. And I've seen success in it and it's been great.
You are the Trello queen as well.
Yes,
so that's a great tool to use for delegation. She has made sure that our team knows the process flow on a Trello board, who, what, when, where, what process it's in, and all of that good stuff. That also helps with our next topic, which is tracking, right? Track and measure. But I think also when it comes to delegation, it's important. It's so important. And this is why we all three work so well together, is because we fully understand each other. And so there will come a point in your career when sometimes you feel like your number one job is delegation, right? So if my job as the VP of operations is to make sure that the company is operating in the way that Jana wants it to be operating and things are getting done the way that she wants to, my job is to delegate those things and follow up on those things and track and measure those things. And that's a hard transition because for so long, like Jill, I was doing each one of the tasks. And then we've had such exponential growth. Now we have a staff of 8, I believe. And so everyone's so busy doing everything. And so it is a complete job to go back and make sure everything's getting done and you're putting in new policies and procedures and implementation. And me and Jill love a good processes and procedures meeting. I talk it through. She types it out. Jen looks over it. It's amazing what you could do when you have a great team, and you have to be able to have that person on your staff that fully understands you so that they can delegate the right way and that they make sure that things get done. And that's why we're like the three Jana's angels.
Well, and I would love to add too on the delegation, because we do have some business owners that are solopreneurs and they're wearing all the hats. So if you don't have a staff, who do you delegate to? Well, you can delegate to yourself too. This is where those lists can come in handy, because you can say, all right, I'm prioritizing now. I'm delegating these tasks out into my day to say, all right, this is what I need to hit. This is what I need to hit. And then more than likely, you have some form of assistance, whether you're hiring out a moving company or you're doing something, you're still delegating to somebody, because you just can't, and then maybe if you're at that point, like Jill said, of burnout, where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pull my hair out. It's probably time for you to take that next step of leap of faith and add somebody to your team. And we definitely have lots of modules to help you with that as well. So, but delegation can be done even if you are a solopreneur. It just has to be done a little bit differently.
Exactly. And when you're ready to bring on that first employee, we're ready to help you through that transition as well. So, all right, stats and reporting. How do you know if you're even being successful if you're not tracking? How do I know if our employees are doing what they're supposed to be doing? And how do we know if incomes or payroll is justifiable? We have to track, measure, and report, which we've kind of shared a little bit. We do beginning of day, end of day reports. And so we're able to see, track, and measure. But when it comes to your warehouse job costing, Jennifer can share a little bit about that for Model My Home. But you have to track and measure. You have to set some type of metric. Money coming in the door is not the only measurement. Yes, it's good when you have lots of money coming in. However, if tons of money's coming in, but you're spending double that, getting inventory and logistics and staging and hiring someone to help you, and now you're in the negative, then that's not very good. And so you have to really know your job costing. You have to know how much it's going to cost for your employees, how much it's going to cost for your inventory, how much is it going to cost if I get this warehouse and I have to pay the power bill, like all the things, right? So Jen, you're really good with job costing and all that fun stuff with Model My Home. So why don't you share a little bit on how they track and measure?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's really where those stats and reports come in on both the owner side and the employee side. We want our employees to be reporting to us on what they're doing, but as a business owner, you want to make sure that you've got good, solid reports to know what's happening from the high level standpoint. We personally utilize JSJ's consulting services, who is one of our affiliate partners here within HSRA, and they have really been instrumental in helping us be able to dive deeper into that job costing. So I would say partnering with somebody, whether it's JSJ or somebody else near local to you, but having that that second set of eyes is huge to be able to really determine what was the actual cost of this service. We can put a number to it based on the value that we believe it has, but what was the actual cost of the gas, of the truck, of the labor, of the inventory? What happens if something got broke? There was an incident at the service when it was being set up and somebody dropped a glass top to a table or broke art, like the whole art cart fell over in Model My Home one time, and like 4 big major pieces of art were damaged by when the art cart fell over. So how much money is that? Thinking about like 4 large canvases to a luxury house that have now been slashed because the art cart fell over. Well, that has to be taken into account. So having these reports, incident reports, I mean, when you talk about stats and reports, don't just think about it from the standpoint of timekeeping, how's our marketing performing, how this, that, and the other. Those are important, but you also want to take into account incident reports, loss reports, damage reports. How about your inventory system? Is it up to date? And your inventory reporting, do you know what you have and where it is? Do you know what's in your warehouse? Do you know what's out in the field and currently staged? if somebody were to call you tomorrow and ask you to purchase all of the inventory that's in XYZ house, could you give them a price for it and know that you're giving them an accurate price that's going to bring you a profit so you don't lose money on that inventory? So having all of these reports is huge to increase your efficiency so that you're not bleeding money on the backside.
That's amazing. And it's so true. One of the best ways you can become an efficient business is by being held accountable and having people in your corner. So here at HSRA, Jennifer is our staging business advisor, and she meets monthly with all of our members to 1, check in, 2, see if there's anything they need that we can provide, 3, direct them in different areas of training that they already have in their training center that they may not know about. And so it is such a benefit to have somebody like that in your corner. And so if you're thinking to yourself, like, man, I'm just starting out in my staging business, I don't know which way to go, I'm overwhelmed. I definitely can think of people saying like, that's why I'm not going big, because I got to do all this stuff. I got to track. It's okay. You can do it as long as you have a support system around you. So definitely reach out to us. Go to myhsra.com. There's a link on the front page that says book a discovery call. It'll either be me or Jennifer that will get on the phone with you. We're going to talk to you. We're going to find out, why did you start your staging business? What dreams did you have for your staging business? Where are you now? And where do you want to be in 5 years? And then we're going to kind of walk you through that process as how to get you to where you want to go in 5 years. Not to mention, we have over 100 modules in our training center that comes with our membership. So we would love for you to join the HSRA family. And on top of it, we have like 1,000,001 events, almost one every month, I think, until the end of the year. We have a different event. We have, if you're interested in knowing how to style short-term rentals, we have our strmasterminds.com. Jill's going to be putting these in the link here. If you're interested, this is the biggest one, and it does go along with our topic today, is our business bundle. And so we poll our HSRA members all the time, and we ask them, what is your big need? Where's your struggle? Because when they tell us that, that allows us to get resources and answers and solutions for them. And so we put together a 4-part mastermind business bundle. So we're going to start with the biggest pain, logistics. And we're going to be going to one of our HSRA members' warehouse, masterminding there, and going all A to Z through logistics. So if that doesn't scream efficiency, I don't know what does. Then when we're going to partner up after Las Vegas market, and we're going to have a sales mastermind. Everyone likes to go to Las Vegas, so why wouldn't you? And we're going to talk through sales and best practices through sales. Then we're going to head on the other side of the country, and we're going to do marketing. And then we're going to end the year in Tampa, Florida, and we're going to be talking about services and staging. And so we put this together first for our HSRA members, because that's what they asked for. And then we opened it up to our staging community. So we would love for you to take part in that. You can do one or you can do all. And the really cool thing is you can bring one person with you for free. And so that means, you could literally bring each department person with you. It's not the same person to all 4, or maybe it's, you are all of them, but maybe you just have someone that you're priming to work with you, or maybe it's your business partner or your spouse. They can go in, because sometimes 2 heads are better than 1. And so we just want to encourage you to get involved, to be supported by someone, even if it's not HSRA. The best way to be successful in life is to have support and accountability. So I hope that helped today. That was super fun. Way to go, ladies. And we'll be back here next week, same time, same place. And so definitely leave comments if you have any questions. Somebody did ask if this was going to be recorded. It'll just be on our Facebook page. It'll be right here. So when you get off of work, you can come back, because I think this person must want to start a staging company because they're at work. They're not doing that right now. So, all right, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.